Hey everyone, so I am back again with an update on Imperialdramon Ragnaloardmon. Well, I'm going ahead of myself, but lately I've been thinking about the Imperialdramon from EX3 a lot, and I wanted to combine Imperialdramon with Ragnaloardmon, and so I came up with some ideas. Actually, I just wanted to tell a story before I get into the deck. So, um, I'm going to actually show you the deck while I tell the story. So I went to locals last month, and this was when the new Ragnaloardmon deck came out. And my friend was playing it, and I mentioned to him, actually, I've seen some deck lists online where people run Flamedramon from EX3 in the Ragnaloardmon deck because it has this inheritable where at the end of your turn you can DNA Digivolve. And the Ragnaloardmon deck does already have Digimon with that effect. But if you wanted to deviate, or if you wanted to splash in Flamedramon, remove some of the other Digimon from the Ragnaloardmon deck, then Flamedramon can have a home in Ragnaloardmon because it's a red Digimon, inheritable end of turn. Then you can DNA Digivolve this Digimon into a different Digimon. So I was talking about that with my friend, and as I was thinking about Imperialdramon from EX3, I was also thinking, you know what? What if I went ahead and then I built a Ragnaloardmon deck using the Imperialdramon EX3 line, and then as I was doing it, and then I was going through the cards, I realized, wow, this is a lot centered around Imperialdramon, Dragon mode and Fighter mode, as opposed to Ragnaloardmon. It's not really a Ragnaloardmon deck with synergy from Imperialdramon. This is actually an Imperialdramon deck with Ragnaloardmon as a finisher, and this apparently is also an OTK deck. So let me go through the deck. So this deck is not in the testing phase yet. It's still in the idea phase. But I can probably see some cards that I'm going to change out. But yeah, let's go through the deck. I'm actually going to go through the deck on digimoncard.dev because I just like this more. It just shows the cards a lot better. But anyways, if you've seen my Imperialdramon deck idea video, then this is basically the same, except I reworked some Digimon out. So I took away the Gabumons. I added in Hawkmons instead. I took away the Agunimon, the Eismon Scatter Mode, because they are not really necessary for this build. I realized that in this build, the Gabumon and Eismon, they don't do what I really want. I don't want to really focus on trashing. Really, in this deck, the only cards that you do want to trash is one Imperialdramon or one Dinobemon. In my last video, I mentioned how trashing a Flamedramon or Shadramon isn't really that necessary. In this deck, it is absolutely not necessary at all for you to trash a Flamedramon or Shadramon. You just really want to trash a Imperialdramon or Dinobemon and you're set. So, because you only need to trash one card out of 8 possible copies, this deck does not really focus on trashing that much. This deck is actually built around the idea of getting an OTK on your opponent, and it is very, very possible to do. Also, I took away the heroes. You don't really need heroes. The memory setting in this deck isn't that necessary. In the other deck, it definitely was, because you wanted early game aggression in this deck because it's a combo deck. You don't need the early game aggression. You just attack late, mid to late game, and then you just get rid of all your opponent's securities in one turn, and then you also attack them in the same turn. So you get rid of 5 security cards, no security checks at all, and then you attack them for the game. So let's actually go over this deck. I'll go over the deck as it currently is, and then I'll also include my ideas for how I would improve this deck later on. So, Demi-Meramon, you don't really need a specific red or a specific purple rookie for this deck. You can pretty much use any rookie that you want. Demi-Meramon in this build is not that necessary, but of all the eggs out there, Demi-Meramon is probably the most useful egg in certain situations. Like if you really need to trash a card in your hand, or if you just really want that extra search, Demi-Meramon's the most useful of all the eggs, but honestly, it's not that useful often. So it is the most useful, but it's often not useful, if that makes sense. So you can really run any red or purple digi egg that you really want. I'm just using Demi-Meramon because it is useful in certain situations. But again, you can really use anything that you want. Vmon, by trashing one card of Imperialdramon and its name or free and its traits from your hand, draw 2. So this is pretty good. You can trash extra free Digimon that you have that you don't really need, and then you can just draw 2. If you get Imperialdramon or Dino Beamon in your hand, then you should definitely trash one of those two, because you want one in the trash at least. But if you have Wormmon in your hand, or even Hawkmon, Flamedramon, Shadedramon, any extra Imperialdramon line cards that you don't really need, like if you have extra copies, you can just trash it, draw 2. Look for more memory boosts, look for Brachiomonn, Ragnaloardmon, Gravity Crush. Pretty much this is in this deck, not really focusing on trashing, but more focusing on just getting the draw power. The trashing is useful, but not as useful. Wormmon, I don't really love Wormmon in this deck. If I were to make some changes later on, I would remove all of the 3 Wormmons and then max out Hawkmon and max out Labramon. So the Wormmon can actually be bad. So if you were to, for example, reveal Ultimate Brachiomon, then you have to bottom it. Ragnaloardmon, it has to go to the bottom. Taikamiya, red memory boost, Gravity Crush. If you reveal it with Wormmon, then they have to go to the bottom of the deck. So I think that Wormmon's probably a liability for this deck, actually, because Flamedramon and Shadedramon can evolve off of red or purple. Then you don't really need the Wormmon. You don't really need the purple rookie. You can just replace the Wormmons with Hawkmons and Labramons, honestly. But currently, again, I'm still in the idea phase. I haven't tested it out yet. I think that when I test out this deck, I will remove the Wormmon. Wormmon on play, reveal top 3 cards from your deck. Add 1 red or purple card with free and its traits, or 1 card with Imperialdramon and its name from among them to your hand, and trash 1 card following the same requirements. Put the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. So all your targets for Wormmon and Vmon, because they have free, are all of the Imperialdramon line, and also Hawkmon, because Hawkmon is also a free Digimon. So Hawkmon is actually very useful in this deck. Hawkmon on play, reveal top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 2-color red card among them to your hand, place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So this Hawkmon is actually very useful in this deck, because to pull off the combo, you really want Ultimate Brachiomon, and you also really want Ragnaloardmon. So with Vmon and Wormmon, they can get the Imperialdramon line pieces in your hand, but you can't get Ultimate Brachiomon or Ragnaloardmon with Vmon or Wormmon. So that's where Hawkmon comes into play. Now you can get most of the Imperialdramon line to your hand, in addition to Ultimate Brachiomon and Ragnaloardmon, which is very good for getting the pieces that you need to pull off the combo. Labramon, on play, trigger draw 1, and then trash 1 card in your hand. So what is this combo that I mean? I actually have it written out on digimoncard.io. So the Imperialdramon OTK with Ragnaloardmon. Start turn with a Tai Kamiya out with a combination of 2 memory boosts out or 2 gravity crushes in hand and a level 4 in raising, other level 4 in hand. So if you have 2 memory boosts out and a level 4 in raising and the other level 4 in your hand and the Tai Kamiya, then you can start this combo. Or instead of 2 memory boosts, you have 2 gravity crushes or 1 of each. Basically, you want to start with Tai, a level 4 in raising, the other level 4 in your hand, and some way for you to gain 4 memory that turn. It is also possible if you have 3 memory boosts out / gravity crushes, so a combination of 3 of either of these, to only need 1 rookie in raising when you start turn. So instead of a level 4 in raising when you start turn, you can start off rookie, because if you have the extra 2 memory, then you can just digivolve into the level 4 that turn. So yeah, Tai sets you to 3 memory. Then you start of turn, promote out the level 4 to battle area, gain the 4 memory from your memory boost or your gravity crushes. So now you're at 7 memory. Play a rookie for 3. So you go from 7 to 4 memory, digivolve into the other level 4. So if you promoted out a Flamedramon, you promote out. If you promoted out a Flamedramon, then you digivolve the rookie that you just played into a Shadramon, or vice versa. As long as you get the red level 4 and then the purple level 4, then you're able to DNA digivolve. So now if you did that, then you're at 2 memory now because you just digivolved for 2. DNA digivolve into Imperialdramon or Dinobemon, playing the other for free from your trash. And then before you DNA digivolve again, before that, you want to play Ultimate Brachiomon, going to 8 memory on your opponent's side, which kind of sounds weird, but because the Imperialdramon or the Dinobemon, whichever one you DNA digivolved into, has the Flamedramon and the Shadramon under it, then it has the end of turn inheritable where it can DNA digivolve. So now that the memory is at 8 on your opponent's side, you can use the end of turn effect, DNA digivolve Dinobemon and Imperialdramon into Imperialdramon Dragon mode. And then the Dragon mode is basically board wiping your opponent except for 1 Digimon. It has Blitz, so it can attack your opponent. And then when attacking, you can regular digivolve into fighter mode for 2 memory. So now you digivolve into fire mode for 2, and now your opponent has 10 memory. So you do 3 checks, no security effects because of fighter mode's ability. So because of the Tai Kamiya and also the Imperialdramon as an inheritable, then you get 2 extra security attacks. 2 extras, yeah. So you get 3 security attacks. Because of fire mode, you don't activate any security effects. So you just basically get rid of 3 security. And then after that, end of turn effect from Flamedramon or Shadramon. And then you can DNA digivolve the Ultimate Brachiomon that you played earlier with your fighter mode into Ragnaloardmon. And if you did the steps like how I described, then you should have 8 sources under Ragnaloardmon. 1 DNA digivolving for every 4 sources underneath Ragnaloardmon. Then you delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 20 or less, and then you also trash the top card of their security stack. So because you have 8 cards under Ragnaloardmon, then you can trash 2 security cards from your opponent. So because you attacked for 3 security checks, no security effects, and then you trash 2, then that's a total of 5 cards that you just got rid of, no security effects at all. And then you attack for game, because this also has Blitz. So this is very, very good. So if you do that, then you can get rid of 3 cards, no security effects. Then you get rid of 2 cards. Don't even flip them over. They just go straight to the trash. And then you attack for game. So that is the gist of the deck. I took out the Agunimon, and I took out the Eismon Scare Mode, because Eismon, you don't really need to trash cards in this deck that much. I mean, as long as you have a Vmon or a Labramon, then I'm so sure that you can just get rid of a Imperialdramon or Dino Beamon. The Wormmon is not that necessary in this build, so I will probably replace Wormmon, max out Hawkmons, and Labramons. But anyways, that's the combo. You want to set up with a Tai Kamiya and any 2 combinations of red memory boosts or gravity crushes. The reason why I'm playing Ultimate Brachiomon, it seems like such a weird card, but it is red, so it can be searched for with red memory boost and also with Hawkmon. So you have some cards that can help you search for Ultimate Brachiomon. It's 10 cost, which admittedly works very, very well with this combo. You can play some more expensive cards like Baihumon, or pretty much any other level 6 that's black. But Ultimate Brachiomon just works the best because it can be searched for with red memory boost and with Hawkmon. If you use Baihumon, it's 13 cost, so you have to somehow be able to play it for 13. So instead of doing everything from one turn, maybe you have a Digimon out already, or maybe you have a level 5 Digimon or whatever. But the Baihumon just makes it more difficult to pull off the combo. It is pretty good in a regular Ragnaloardmon deck, but in this deck, I would assume the Ultimate Brachiomon is just the best black level 6 that you can use. It's just 10 memory, it can be searched with your cards. But yeah, that is essentially the combo. Yeah, you just at some point use a Labramon or use a Vmon to get rid of a Imperialdramon or Dino Beamon from your hand. And you don't even need to attack your opponent's security, honestly. Like, you can just have them out on the field. They don't even have to attack. You have no incentive to attack. Attacking early means that they can get a free tamer out, or they can get some kind of advantage. Maybe they get a memory boost out, or a hammer spark, or whatever. But unless their deck is actively recovering, like if you're playing against Mastamon and then they're like, oh shoot, they're playing that janky deck that Tommy Fantastic uploaded, and then they're like, okay, cool, let's play a Magna Angimon, and then they recovered to 6 or something. Like, unless they actually know what your deck is doing, because this deck is just weird. Unless they actually know that you're going to knock out 5 security cards in one turn, or if you have any kind of reason to attack, then you probably should not attack until the final turn when everything's ready. That is if you are trying to pull off the combo. Like, if you can go for game earlier, then yeah, by all means go for game. But in most situations, I would assume that just waiting until you get Tai Kamiya, 2 red memory boosts, a Imperialdramon in your trash, and then Flamedramon in your raising, or Shadramon in your raising while having the other one in your hand, then that's like the easier way to go about it. But yeah, you can just OTK your opponent. Just build up everything into fighter mode. Get 3 security attacks in, no security effects activate. And then you DNA Digivolve into Ragnaloardmon. When DNA Digivolving, you trash the top 2 cards of your opponent's security, and then this thing attacks for game. Like, this deck seems fun. like, you can play regular Imperialdramon, but this deck just ties it together. I think that I would probably run this deck. Like, it seems fun. I'm not sure quite how reliable it is yet, but actually, so this is what I would do. I would get rid of the Wormons and then just run 4 Vmons, 4 Hawkmons, 4 Labramons. The Vmon and the Labramon can digivolve over the Demi-Marimon, so you have 8 Digimon that can digivolve over this if you need to. Like, you don't really need to digivolve over it until you are about to start the combo. But, you know, if you want the extra card draw or whatever, then you can. Yeah, that's basically the deck. It's like my Imperialdramon deck, but actually has some pretty good synergy for an OTK. Digivolve into fighter mode, 3 checks, and then end of turn, DNA Digivolve into Ultimate Brachiomon. DNA Digivolve with Ultimate Brachiomon into Ragnaloardmon, and then just get 2 more cards out the way, and then this thing attacks your opponent directly, and then you win the game. Red Memory Boost searches for Ragnaloardmon, Ultimate Brachiomon, Imperialdramon, Dinobemon, Dragon Mode, or Fighter Mode. So you definitely have like 24 cards. 8, 11, 14. 20 cards. 20 cards that you can search for with Hawkmon. And then you have a bunch of cards that you can search for with Red Memory Boost. The Gravity Crush. So if you don't start your turn with 2 red memory boosts out, just having the Gravity Crush, it can help you to kickstart the combo a turn earlier, or just being able to have an extra source where you can get 2 memory in case you don't draw into the other red memory boosts. Then this can also help you kickstart the combo. As long as you have 4 extra memory on top of tie, then you're good. But yeah, this deck seems fun. I will eventually build this after I get the cards, and I will get back to you. I don't really know what else to say. I think that this deck is pretty self-explanatory. It seems simple enough. So, closing statements. I don't think that you need to run full playsets of Dragon Mode and Fighter Mode in this deck, because of the Hawkmon searching, because of the draw power from Vmon and Labramon, because of the red memory boost searching. So you don't really need that many. The Wormmon, I think that I'm going to replace, because it seems like a liability if you have to bottom deck some cards. Like if you reveal tie, red memory boost, gravity crush, Ragnaloardmon, or ultimate Brachiomon, then you need to bottom deck them. Granted, Hawkmon also reveals, and then you have to bottom deck something, but at least with Hawkmon over Vmon, then you can get ultimate Brachiomon or Ragnaloardmon without bottom decking them. Like, this is just better for searching out your key cards that you need for the combo. So this, I feel like this is acceptable. The Wormmon, I don't think that it necessarily works, so I'm removing it probably during testing, but I'm going to try both. I'm going to try some Hawkmons, I'm going to try some Wormmons. I'll see which one's better. The Sistermons from the recent Jessmon deck, they might work too. The one that when you trash 1 card in your hand, you draw 2. So I will also test that one out, actually. But yeah, that's my deck. I think that this is pretty self-explanatory. I'm playing 3 Ragnaloardmons, 3 Ultimate Brachiomons, just to increase the chances that you draw into one of them. Like, you only need 1 Ultimate Brachiomon, only need 1 Ragnaloardmon, but just having 3 seems like a good number for you to draw into. You don't really need the 4 copies because, again, you are going through your deck. You're searching like crazy with Hawkmon and Red Memory Boost. But yeah, this deck doesn't really focus on trashing that much. There is some trashing for you to get rid of Imperialdramon and Dinobemon. But really, this deck is just going through your deck, looking at cards, adding cards to your hand, looking at cards, adding cards to your hand. So I feel like this is a different way to play Imperialdramon Dragon Mode. I'm not sure which one's more fun, but just cheesing your opponent, getting 5 securities on 1 turn, no checks whatsoever, that seems pretty darn good. I'm not actually sure how this deck will work in practice, but yeah, I will post this video now, and I will test this deck eventually. So my locals is actually very busy. All of next week, there is no Digimon because of Magic the Gathering Brothers pre-release. So then that takes away the whole week. That's their busiest event. So there's no Digimon next week. And then 2 weeks later is Thanksgiving. My locals has Digimon weeklies on Thursdays, but then it's Thanksgiving. So no Digimon for the rest of the month, basically. So I will test this deck out sometime in December, IRL, and then I will upload a updated video. I will also attach this deck list into the description of this video. So just in case I update anything, you can always click on the hyperlink in the description of the video to check out my updated deck real time. So I will put this actual URL into the video. So, if I don't have a chance to upload a new video by then, you can just always click on the hyperlink, check out my real time updated deck. But yeah, that was a very long video where I just mostly rambled. But yeah, this is just me after a very long shift at work, going home and not really thinking much about it before and just winging it. So yeah, thank you again for watching.